All right, so it all began way back in the 1800s, probably like 1885, 1863, something like that. There was a big thunderstorm. A horse carriage crashed on a mountainside. In that carriage was George Joestar the First. Now he survives. He survives this crash. His wife perishes, but she perishes while holding delicately to her baby, Jonathan. And so Jonathan is still alive, despite the fact he was a baby and his mom died saving his life.
So where does the second George Joestar come in?
That one, okay, so George Joestar the
Your
second...
story's falling apart.
George Joestar the second was the son of Jonathan Joestar, who didn't really get any canon explanation to his story or anything, just, well, not a little bit. He fought in the war, and then he died in the war. World War One.
Okay.
So, see, the story's not falling apart. I had to answer that quick.
Out, yep.
That's all that's canonically explained, but there is a novel, a light novel, if you will, that goes into more of his backstory and more of his workings and stuff.
No, you're explaining the whole thing.
Like I don't know. I don't know the light novel. I haven't read it.
So this is like your favorite thing of all time that you.
And I'm just blatantly missing potential information about
Already.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait till we get to Purple Haze feedback, then I'm gonna look like an asshole for not knowing that story.
I'm looking forward to that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So yes, horse carriage crashes. Mom dies, baby lives, old guy lives, or the dad lives. And then there's this motherfucker, Dario Brando, who's like, he just happened to be out on a stroll on this thunderstorm by a mountain. Why the fuck not?
Would you say there's any plot holes there? Like why was he...
Yeah, is that ever brought up again? Like, why he was out there? Or
Yeah.
He just kind of was?
No, he was just there, and he's like, oh, sick, that's an expensive-looking wagon. And so that guy's probably rich, there's probably valuables on there, and everybody's dead. Money. So he's trying to go commit, like, you know... Would that be grave robbing at that point? Because they're not buried. Just kind of... Just kind of...
Explain the light novel to me, because I think we're missing something here.
They're skipping ahead like 30 years.
Okay, fine. So...
And I was about to skip ahead 12.
So this is Donald Brand?
Dario Brand.
Okay.
Dario Brand.
Like Wario.
Like a lot like Wario, but if instead of a W there was a D, and not 40 of them.
Now I'm getting it, yeah.
See, that was a WD-40 joke.
Thanks. Go back to the JoJo.
Yeah. Okay. So he's trying to steal the stuff, and then George Joestar, being the fucking dumbass that he is like, oh, you saved my life, as he's like grabbing onto this guy's hand who's literally trying to steal all of his valuables.
So not grave robbing, he's still alive technically.
So the
the
Joestar family starts off with a dumbass.
Yes, basically. George Joestar decides he is indebted to Dario Brando for saving his life. It's not what happened. That is not what happened. That's just the story that Dario let him believe. And so he said he'll repay him with one major favor. And then
kiss on the cheek.
Flash forward 12 years. Now we've got Dario Brando on his deathbed, basically. His years of smoking and alcoholism finally caught up to him. So he's on his deathbed practically. But what's this? He's got a son, and his son's name is Dio.
That's a lot.
Dio Brando, because this is part one.
Where does JoJo come in?
This is part one, so it's Dio Brando.
Yeah.
Like with lowercase letters.
Sounds like a wine.
Lowercase letters?
Like
that's how it's officially spelled.
Like
capital D, lowercase I-O, and then capital B, lowercase
so like how everyone
rando.
spells their name ever, yeah.
Yeah, like how, phonetics.
Thanks. Yeah.
So did they put that in there to make him more relatable to the viewers?
He's just like one of us.
Yeah.
I see how he's spelling his name.
Last name.
He's not slick.
He's got a first name. He's got a last name.
Wow.
He probably has a middle name.
Is that confirmed ever or no?
I'm not sure.
Don't talk about it then. Keep
it's
going.
Borderline confirmed that he is bisexual.
Okay.
I believe it was brought up in an interview
Brando.
at one point. Iraqi, the guy who wrote JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Isn't that a place?
Iraqi?
Yeah. Or Iraq.
Technically, you can make the argument it's a group of people.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
Hirohiko Araki. Yeah. So
is that like intentional?
that is just his name.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Great mangaka. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Not his first. Not his first
I
manga.
don't care about it if it's not JoJo's. So
Neither did I.
good. Stay
Although
focused.
he's got a thing for like sword arms kind of a deal. Like you go like wah, and there's just like swords.
Yeah.
Like coming out.
Does
of
that
there
happen in
something.
JoJo, or is that
Yes.
just exclusive? Okay.
Yes, and it happens in his other ones. He just thinks
What
it's cool.
percentage of people have sword arms in JoJo? Do you say?
Thinks
Like,
it's
roughly?
neat. Very, very low. Very low. I think it happened once for sure, maybe twice if I'm forgetting
So it's
something.
not that often.
Not often in the slightest, but it did happen.
Okay.
It did in fact happen in part 2.
So Dio Brando.
Dio
So
Brando.
the percentage is not 0.
Yes. So Dio comes in.
Where does the dead dog come in?
We're getting to that.
I know the dead dog happens eventually.
Yeah. when
Vampires.
Yeah.
Stop
You're
spoiling it.
spoiling it
Dolly
for the
Parton.
kids.
He's
Yeah.
got so much to go
Don't
still.
tell the kids.
I know that one.
Mickey Mouse.
Jolly,
Mickey Mouse, yeah. No, it's Bugs Bunny now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
now it's got to be Bugs Bunny.
Alright, yeah.
Because they did already swap the first Mickey Mouse line is now a Bugs Bunny line.
Oh man.
And that's just a conversation
They could
in
have done
part
like
6.
what would have you preferred? Do you like the change to Bugs Bunny? Or you
You're a
You know,
purist.
I'm a bit of a purist, not gonna lie. I think
you're
Mickey
like
Mouse.
this changes everything.
Mickey Mouse, I can take more seriously as an antagonist than Bugs Bunny. But I suppose, like, I'm waiting for Netflix to bring out like the next batch of
fix.
episodes because
They'll
like
patch it
this next patch, we're not gonna get to Bohemian Rhapsody. I guarantee it. If we
Okay.
do, they're rushing shit.
Well,
But
there's Freddie
the
Mercury coming to
third
play now,
one,
that seems-
they will definitely get to Bohemian Rhapsody, which means we're gonna see Bugs fucking Bunny. And
we're gonna
it's gonna be fascinating because with all the Disney references in the original, changing that because there's not always a 1-to-1 apt comparison.
Why don't
Like,
you
Mickey
start? Why
Mouse,
don't you go
Bugs
back to
Bunny.
part 1?
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay. So, all right, Dio Brando, 12 years old, son of Dario
right?
Brando.
Okay.
Now Dario up and dies.
Is-
Up and dies. And it's all like, oh, well, he's an alcoholic f***ing scumbag, but did he die of natural causes?
I don't know, did he?
It's natural to die when you're poisoned. So,
That makes sense, yeah.
so, pan to the Joestar Mansion, this big ass fucking mansion in the middle of butt nowhere in the UK somewhere. They're rich as f***. And then Jonathan, good little boy Jonathan. He's 12 years old now. He's got a dog named Danny.
Danny the dog.
Danny
the
good,
dog.
Good dog, great
Did
dog.
they ever refer to him as
best
Danny the
friend.
dog?
His best friend is like they're always together. They're
so
always
sweet.
hanging out.
Why
They're
is
always
he gonna
doing
talk
great
about the
things.
dead dogs?
And then
I know that happened.
and then Jonathan, he's out there playing with the dog. He's out there playing with
cute.
Danny. And then
Who do
suddenly,
you like better?
Suddenly, a horse.
Danny the dog or Bugs Bunny?
I like Danny the mouse. We do get to that.
Is
Or,
that-
well, he was
Is there
more of
actually
a,
a Danny the Mouse?
he was more of a rat than a mouse.
There's a fine line between rat and mice and
What-
JoJo.
Whichever one would scare a horse more, that's what the second Danny was.
Okay.
But that's when we get to part 7,
Okay.
which is after the kind of universe reset time reverse.
Yeah.
So, back to these 12-year-old boys meeting each other for the first time.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Danny.
So he's out there playing with Danny, he's playing with his dog, and then it's like, oh, this carriage comes up, and he's like, oh, I wonder who that could be.
This isn't even
and
the
then,
first episode
and
over,
then,
right?
bam,
Close.
no, we're like maybe
Maybe a couple minutes.
If watching the episode would have, we'd be past this at this point. We got a long ways to go.
So JoJo on me. It's just like, okay, an hour later, you're not even done with episode 1.
Just watch that.
Yeah.
So
Just
we're
watch.
talking. Carriage stops, ominous, and then bam, suitcase on the ground.
He jumps,
and then
doesn't he?
jumps
Yeah.
out of the carriage,
Yeah.
lands all casually,
Danny?
pans up to the camera, and it's Dio.
Oh.
Like does more of the
dog?
kind of
Dio
shit.
dog?
And then he's like, Jonathan's like, oh, that must be the new guy Dio. Like, father said that somebody was moving in.
Then
and then
doesn't he punch him in the
Danny
face?
starts running because
Like-
he's an excited
like
little
a-
dog.
yeah.
I've got a little dog. They get excited. They want to jump, meet up new people. So he's running at him. Dio goes, and then kicks the dog as hard as he physically can in the jaw. Like, super tight. So Jonathan's like, no, what is this? And then it's like, tries to get into a fight with them, and then it's like, oh no, this is the new house guest, and Dio's like, oh yeah, the dog was trying to bite me. I was just trying to like push him away.
Yeah.
And it's like
Great.
Jonathan's like, well, maybe I missed something, and then think like 20 seconds ago when he had this like eager look on his face as he's like uppercutting with his knee the fucking dog's mouth. It's just
Right.
like
Yeah. Just graphic.
yeah. So Dio sets out on a mission, a personal mission, to make Jonathan's life hell.
Any specific reason?
He hates Jonathan because he never had to grow up in the slums or deal with any of the hardships of life, really, because he's just,
But then
he's
Dio-
just a spoiled rich kid. But
Doesn't
Jonathan
Dio also
has a
a
good
spoiled
heart.
rich kid?
Well, now he is. But
Yeah.
but Dario Brando is an alcoholic guy stealing
I gotcha.
jewelry off of a corpse. Like
Then he got
this man.
wished into the house by magic or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but the
Magic?
the magic of Macy's brought him to the.
Witches and
yeah.
Joestar Mansion.
There's ghouls that are coming into play.
Yeah.
There will be ghouls. There will be ghouls.
I like just adding things that I'm not sure if they earn or not.
I
Like
don't.
80% of the time, they're probably in it.
I'm not for sure if there's witches. We'll
But
get
ghouls
there.
are locked,
We'll
though,
get there
right?
when we get there. Ghouls locked, guaranteed, and in part 1.
Money back?
Money back guarantee. We'll get to the ghouls. So Dio's just being a complete waffle, trying to ruin Jonathan's life. He like kisses Jonathan's girlfriend.
It's
He,
not
like,
his girlfriend yet, right? They're just
They're
hanging.
just young lovers,
Just pals.
young and in love. Well,
You don't know that from what I've seen. He was just helping her out because he was a gentleman.
Well, yeah, that was their first interaction, and then that made her think, "Oh, what a gentleman." And then they met again.
Then he
and
gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah,
The kick shit out of him.
yeah, they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
JoJo?
I don't even think he got her doll back. He just got the shit beat out of him. He's like, "No, what are you doing?" And then they beat the shit out of him.
Out of JoJo?
Rewind a little bit. Who's they?
Yeah, who is they?
I don't know,
That's
just some
There's some guys,
some-
there's some fellas.
They ever
some
come
children.
back? They never come
some
back.
silly children. They do come back as Dio's lackeys.
I thought you were
But,
gonna say his DLC.
Yeah, they come back as DLC.
Hey,
It's an
Are they in
it's an
any like the
expansion
JoJo fighting games or something? Could you play as Dio's lackeys?
God, I wish.
Danny the dog at least.
Oh, I'm
Danny
sure
the dog
somewhere.
is Danny in one of the JoJo fighting games.
Danny makes 0 appearances in any of the video games
Well,
aside from.
Okay,
text
whenever you
reference.
explain JoJo to us, you often talk about the dog. The dog's only in like the first.
Oh, that's not the only dog.
Danny the dog. You talk about Danny the dog a
Or was
lot.
I talking about Danny the mouse rat and you just didn't
There's
realize?
that too. Now.
There's
You
two
never. You
Dannys.
don't
There's
talk about
multiple
Danny
Dannys.
the
There's two
mouse
Dannys.
rat that much. You, like,
Danny the
whenever-
mouse rat scared a horse so bad that he killed somebody.
All right,
That's
rewind a
new to
little
me.
bit.
That's new to me.
Go.
Yeah,
go.
that's not. That's 6 parts
That
away.
is new to
Yeah.
me.
There's 8.
Yeah.
Part 8's the longest.
Is part 1 the shortest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
good.
By
Keep
far.
going.
Yeah.
Keep going. What do we got?
All right, so it's make his life live in hell. Like Jonathan's in like a boxing club thing, and then Dio joins it, and then he like does the thumb in the eye punch, and it's like, oh, what? He did that on
Ouch.
purpose. And he's just trying to make Jonathan's life living hell. And then I forget what happens. Something happens. Dio's like, that's it. That's the last straw. And he decides he's gonna take Danny and throw him in the incinerator. Burns this dog alive. And it's not discovered until one of the groundskeepers goes to light the garbage on fire, and then suddenly from inside the incinerator. In the manga, you
Is
get
that when you said I'm hooked? When the dog died?
This is a show for me.
This is
In
the
the
show for
manga-
me. The dog is on fire.
in the manga. The
that
dog,
should be like jumping the shark.
Give me more of
when they
this.
cut when they light the dog on fire. That's when a show. That's like the opposite of jumping the shark.
Yeah.
That's like, oh man, the show just jumped the shark. No, the show just lit the dog on fire. It's getting good.
See, in the
have
manga,
to watch
the
that.
dog actually jumps out of the incinerator, but it's like he's so on fire at this point that there's no saving him. Because this is before fire extinguishers were invented.
Right, of course.
So the dog's just jumped out fully on fire, and you see this burning dog flying through the air
Yeah.
in the manga. In the anime, you just hear him whimpering from inside, and it's kind of
Yep,
sad.
classic dog.
You know
Classic
what's
dog.
You know what's
Classic
going on.
dog.
Yeah.
Classic dog.
Right.
Okay.
So then
So JoJo's
So
probably
that,
not pretty pleased about
so
that.
yeah, no, he's pretty f***ing furious,
Pretty
but
peeved.
like he has no proof that it was Dio that did it, and hell, the groundskeeper's the one who lit it on fire.
Right. It wasn't
So
technically Dio
there's
either.
always the chance
the
that
groundskeeper
Danny was
goes
just
to
being a
jail?
dog.
Yeah.
No confirmation on what happens to the groundskeeper. So then when then Dio kisses Jonathan's girlfriend Arena, and that's when Jonathan's like, oh, okay, that's it, and he's like, what did you do to my Arena? And then he comes in, guns blazing, ready to just beat some Dio ass.
Yeah, Dio ass. Keep going.
Are you done?
No need to stop. Yeah.
Are you done?
No, you're good.
Comes in ready to beat some Dio ass, and this time though, when they fight,
It says duck sauce.
Yeah.
It says duck sauce.
did that come with the game, or did you have to get that
It's
separate?
duck sauce by Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
Yeah.
All
Right
right,
about it.
keep going.
I was picturing it on the side,
No.
like for dipping.
I'll take duck sauce on the side.
Everybody dance for
I'll take
PS3
this-
with duck sauce on the side.
You know, there's a lot of restaurants you can get like a side of spaghetti. I always just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like, you
that
can
doesn't
just, like-
strike me as a side dish.
No, it's kind of like a full meal kind of thing.
Something
Yeah,
like,
that's-
what meal do you
Just-
think?
I'm not
What meal would that fit
thinking.
as a
I'm not
side?
thinking I want some spaghetti. I'm thinking I
Yeah.
want spaghetti.
Well, I mean, like you can. I got it at there's Sbarro, it's like the mall food court
Yeah.
place. Mainly pizza, but you could get. I got a side of spaghetti there.
This one kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah,
sloppy
some-
noodles. Like it
I can
was.
see that.
It was really slimy noodles.
Yeah.
So they were cooked.
Yeah,
It's like
very
very
cooked.
In fact, you could argue they were overcooked.
Yeah, which they would just want to make sure it's cooked.
Yeah,
Which you
that's,
can't blame them.
yeah.
Anyway,
I
yeah,
understand that.
dog dies.
Dog dies.
Dog dies.
Jonathan or Dio kisses Arena. Jonathan goes to fight Dio.
Arena, like
beat
a
his
fighting
ass.
arena.
Arena Pendleton.
Didn't answer my
arena.
question.
Didn't answer anything, yeah.
You just specified what kind of arena.
Yep, it's a Pendleton Arena.
Alright, there we go.
Alright,
Yeah,
alright.
hey, would you ever buy an arena like and call it the Pendleton Arena?
Oh, absolutely.
And then like other people would just kind of be like, like
I'd just call it Arena Pendleton, like Arena Pendleton, and like
Yeah.
I don't think hardly anybody would get it.
No.
Be like, why isn't it like Pendleton?
a lot of
Arena?
people
like
would get it.
who's Pendleton? And then
well,
like
probably not the people going to
Yeah,
a Pendleton arena, but
yeah, probably not the kind of people who would need to go to an arena would get the joke.
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah.
Word of mouth, maybe it's spread around. But
Yeah, so Dio's being kind of a jerk.
Yeah, so Jonathan goes to fight his ass, and this time he's actually winning. Like he's beating the shit out of Dio. And so Dio's like, that's it. And then he pulls out a knife and goes to like stab him. It's like this is it. I'm gonna kill him and take over his life, basically. I'm gonna be the spoiled rich kid with all the advantages.
Are they still like 12 here? Did they grow
Yes,
up?
they're still 12.
So Dio doesn't like spoiled rich kids, but he wants to be a spoiled rich kid.
He wants the Joestar fortune because he thinks he'd do better with it. He's vying for power.
So why does he become a vampire?
Because he's vying for power. So, then George Joestar like sees him fighting, doesn't see Dio's knife. Some fucking how he misses the fact that this lunatic pulled a knife on his only son.
Right.
And he's like screaming at him, getting him to stop, and like talks to him like, "Hey, you guys need to learn to get along better." And then they're like, "Okay." And then we fast forward another 6 years, and now
They get along
everybody is fucking beefcakes. At this point, like
Yeah, I remember that.
uncomfortably so.
Yeah.
Like it caught me off guard. That's when I got hooked. Just seeing that kind of jump
Beefcake.
from episode 1 to episode 2.
Yeah.
We're on episode 2 now, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of how many total episodes?
That's currently made
Yeah.
probably to the tune of like 260.
Okay.
And then what's not
yeah.
made into episodes yet, it would fill another probably 150 episodes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
buckle up.
Keep going.
So does it make sense to you personally for the story to go from this to Bugs Bunny?
Is there a logical through line to that part?
See, that's the beautiful thing. The logical through line is so loose but so present. Like you can take
Okay,
you can
go on,
take you
try
can
to
take
explain
far
yourself.
future events out of context, and it sounds like the most hogwash diarrhea babble you could possibly fucking hear. But if you stick with it from the beginning, it doesn't surprise you. It comes up as like, oh, this is just the next thing that's happening.
Yeah.
This is just what's getting there.
Well, they
At
kind
this
of build
point,
up that like craziness of like
yeah.
insanity
At this
to
point in the
some scale.
story, we've just got 12-year-olds in the 1880s that are bickering with each
The
other.
dog probably threw some people for a loop, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that was
Dog probably catches some people off
that was
guard.
kind of a screw the audience joke.
Right.
One of those classics.
Yeah.
Like you didn't see it coming. Haha, we're gonna burn a dog alive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Jack, 18-year-old buff.
Yeah, buff as shit.
Jojo.
They're playing rugby in college on the same team.
Uh-huh.
And they're all like, and they win the game. They're all like, haha, could have done without you, Dio. It's like, oh no, Jonathan, that was all you. And they're like,
All the pals.
it's like, yeah, they're all buddy. They're the best of friends. And then
Wow.
they're both in their minds. They're like, yeah, I still don't trust Dio. It's like, Jonathan, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. So that's
Good friends.
that's their real stance.
Yeah.
Kind of like our friendship, I
Yeah.
assume.
Stands.
Yeah, that's part 3.
Maybe less
Yeah,
sexual,
okay.
but close.
Whoa. So stands are such a big part of JoJo.
Yes.
But you wait till part 3 to introduce them?
I gotta build it up.
Explain that.
He's going to try to.
So that actually, Hamon is the pre-stand. Like before there were stands, there was Hamon. Hamon is only in parts 1 and 2, and the issue with Hamon, it's neat, it's dope. It's like using the power of like the ripple from the earth, like to create like this kind of sunlight karate magic.
Earthquake.
Basically, so you can like boom,
We have those
like
already.
it's introduced as like, hey, here is a frog on top of a rock, and he punches the frog as hard as he can with Hamon. The rock fucking explodes. The rock fucking explodes. The frog, fine, just ribbits and goes away, and it's like, wow. At this point, though, I've skipped ahead a couple episodes,
Yeah,
so
just say something
going back,
Yeah,
because that is
rugby.
I was about to
that is
mention-
post-vampire. That happens
Wow.
post-vampire. We haven't even gotten to vampire
We're still
question.
pre-vampire, yeah.
This is around the Dracula times, right?
Yes,
Like this was around the time that Dracula happened.
in the UK, which the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker does mostly take place in the UK.
Yeah. Good. Good
It doesn't
thinking.
start
Good.
there.
Yeah.
It doesn't start there, but
Fair.
it mostly takes place there.
I'm hearing you. Okay, that's what that was. All right.
Okay, yep.
So continue.
Rugby.
All right,
boys.
so yeah, rugby, yada yada. Now, George Joestar's sick, and that's peculiar. He's having the same issues that Dario was having when Dario died.
What?
That's so weird, because George wasn't an alcoholic. He just had several glasses of wine at dinner every night, like a normal person.
Yeah.
Every night, like a anyway.
It
Yeah.
sounds
yeah,
like
he's
you're explaining
the
why you
same-
don't like this show.
The same exact conditions that
Yeah.
Dario had that
Yeah.
proved fatal. And it's like, but we've been giving him the medicine every day. Who's been giving him the medicine every day? Dio.
Joseph.
Dio.
Well, that seems like it's just a
Joseph
bad
is
decision.
part 2.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
If he's not rich,
why wouldn't George's son give him the medicine?
Well, because he
That's like
adopted
Ira.
Dio, and they're basically brothers at this point.
That means
Like,
they
they've
are
grown-
brothers.
Yeah, they've grown up together for like 6 years. They're brothers. You can trust fucking Dio to walk upstairs with medicine, right?
But
No.
there's
No, you
also,
can't.
There's also a lot of
He's
stuff.
swapping it with poison.
There's also a lot of stuff where like Dio blames stuff on Joe, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he was doing that constantly. Like he.
Nice.
We're already
do shit.
past episode
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, we're past episode
Yeah.
1. Let's try to not fall back. Let's not get lost in specifics. I say as I spent 23 minutes explaining a 24-minute episode.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so like that is what it is. So Jonathan's working on his his master's thesis or whatever for college.
What's he in school for?
Archaeology.
Nice.
Dio's in there for law.
Nice. What an idiot.
That's ironic because he breaks a lot.
Oh,
of
that's funny.
And it's funny because
What about marketing?
So-
You know? Economics, maybe
I can see it. I can see it.
chemistry.
He's a smart man. He's a
Chemistry.
smart man, but
He's
he doesn't
doing
know
poison.
chemistry.
He's doing poison. He
Yeah,
has
that's
to
true.
know.
That's
Yeah.
more pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
Where do you think he
Close.
got that poison?
That's the thing. We know where he got it from.
We don't know, or we do.
We
know?
do. It was from a, shall we say, less than polite caricature of your average Chinese person,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
which caught me off guard a little bit.
So there's racism in JoJo.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
a lot of it. So Yeah, so Jonathan's working on his master's thesis on archaeology, and he's writing a research paper on this mysterious stone mask that his mother found on a trip when she was alive. Now, this stone mask is from the Aztecs. It has a unique kind of appearance to it, and he noticed by accident when blood gets on the mask, it shoots out like spikes that would have like wrapped around, like gone into the skull. And so his theory was that it was an execution mask.
Sure.
So yeah. Sure. So then Jonathan realizes that Dio is poisoning the father instead of giving him the medicine. So he's like, but it's all hearsay. Like, it's like, oh, like this is what it's got to be. And then he like gets a hold of the medicine he was about to give his father, and then like goes to get it tested. So then Dio's like panic mode at this point because he's like, my ass is gonna get caught like immediately. So he finds Jonathan's notes about this mask, and he thinks this is the perfect way to kill him. Nobody would suspect anything. Jonathan's already working on this thing. Maybe he f***ed up while he was researching. So that's his master plan. So then, meanwhile, Jonathan, he's going to Ogre Street, the cruelest, baddest, most rough part of town.
Are there any ogres there? Or?
There is Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
R.E.O. Speedwagon?
Speedwagon.
Like there's actual ogres? Are there actual ogres in JoJo?
Speedwagon? No. Speedwagon.
Out of all things in JoJo, they don't have ogres?
Speedwagon has a top hat.
Then answer my question.
And he put blades on the bottom of it, and he throws it like one of those. It's like kind of.
I gotcha. Like Oddjob in GoldenEye.
So then Jonathan, being the absolute fucking badass mountain of a man that he is, he's getting jumped by like 8 people, and he beats them all in a fight, like all of them by himself. And so he's like that? Jonathan.
Nice.
Or should I say JoJo, because that's what they call him in part 1.
You spell it, please.
Doesn't it make more sense for his name to be Joseph?
Part 2.
Yeah, but doesn't it make more sense for the first JoJo to be called Joseph?
Jonathan.
I don't really.
Joestar.
I don't see a ton of like
not to be
people named
John.
I don't hear a bunch of Johns nicknamed to JoJo.
Yeah, no, you don't.
They just go John. Yeah.
Yeah, but they called him JoJo.
But to be fair, his last name is Joestar. So,
that's where it comes.
But is his full name? Is he ever referred to as JoJo Joestar?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
He's also never called Joestar either. He's just called JoJo or Jonathan.
JoJo.
Occasionally
Jonathan,
Joestar.
Jonathan JoJo Jonathan Joestar. How about that one?
Yes, that one actually constantly. That's actually what they say exclusively. There's no other dialogue.
JoJo Jonathan Joestar. JoJo Jonathan Joestar.
JoJo Jonathan.
And was that where you said I'm
right.
hooked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Video over. We got the rest of the dialogue and not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all the subtitles. That's where the plot actually happens.
That's fair. Continue.
So yeah, he beats the shit out of all these guys, and then like he wins. He's standing up, but then Speedwagon's looking around. He's like, "Oh my god, he's killed all my men." And then he looks around. None of the guys who jumped him are dead. They're all just injured. And he's like, "Wow, what a stand-up gentleman." So then this other guy's like running at him with a lead pipe, right? Like ready to like bash his skull in. And he's like, "Stop! Don't lay a finger on this man. This guy's a gentleman, and I'm on his side now."
This is after the dog died.
Well, after 6 years later. It is 6 years later at this point.
Yeah.
Before every scene, to clarify, before or after the dog died.
Hey, do they ever flashback to before the dog died?
Surely, right?
No.
Wow. What? So all of that
It's
was a
all
one and
post?
done. There's nothing else they have to clarify.
Nope.
That's
all.
it's all
set
just
in
like
stone.
boom.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Post DD, post dog death.
Yeah, post PDD.
Wow.
There's like
Public displays of
BCAD, and then there's
PDD.
Post dog
A
death,
public display
or
of this
PBD, post
Public
burning
display
dog.
of dog.
dog.
Hey, there's too much PDD here, like PDA. Yeah.
It's a park?
But this is PDD. That's a public display of dog.
We show way too much dog here.
That's a public display of Dio. Dio Brando. PDDB.
So then,
Yep.
he's in Ogre Street where Dio bought the poison and figures out it's like, yeah, this is poison. So
Did you just figure that out?
Really?
Dio's going to use the mask. He's got it hidden on him when he's coming back to the mansion, but Jonathan's already there. And he's like, I've caught you, Dio.
Yeah.
I've caught you. Here's the police. Here's Robert Speedwagon,
That seems like
a
all
well-known
disrupted.
wanted criminal
Yeah.
who the police are apparently working with. And Dio's like, crying in his arms. He's like, oh, I ask you this one favor, let me turn myself in, like, I don't want you to have to think about this, yada yada. And then Jonathan's like, okay, that's your final act as a free man was a classy one. I respect that. And then Dio goes to throw the mask on his face, misses, and then panics, puts it on his face. Or no, he goes to stab Jonathan with the mask in his hand so he can like see what. No, I missed a part. Dio finds out what the mask does because he realizes that he's screwed. He needs to figure out what this mask does. So he's just getting drunk in London. He's just pissed drunk on the street. He's like, oh god, I feel like my father. And then there's a couple other drunk guys that Dio accidentally bumps into, and they get into a fight. So then Dio just like outright stabs one of them, and then he throws the mask on the other and wipes the blood on it just to see like how it happens. But then this blinding light takes over, and then like he's like, whoa, what's this? And then he just sees the guy on the ground. He's like, oh, so that's a lot of spectacle for nothing. But then the guy gets up, mask falls off, f***ing vampire.
Oh, so you just skipped over the vampire part?
Yeah, I skipped the introduction to vampires.
You skipped the vampire
My
introduction?
fly's been open this entire time.
You're welcome. I've noticed. I didn't.
So there's
It's
a
all
vampire
right.
loose.
So yes, that's the vampire revelation. It's like, oh, this adventure is about to get bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
So-
then he's like, oh, okay, here we go. So now his plan is to use it on himself.
Dio?
Yeah, because like the vampire,
But this isn't
super
JoJo's
strong.
Bizarre Adventure. This is Dio's Bizarre Adventure.
Well, the adventure that gets so bizarre is to hunt Dio back down after he becomes a vampire.
But Dio dies eventually, doesn't he?
Wow, what a
We all
spoiler.
die eventually.
Thank you for saving that.
But Dio is immortal. Right?
We all die eventually.
Keep it.
That's the end of part 3. Thank you very much. Anyway,
Back to part 1.
Yeah.
back to part 1. Vampires, real, scary, strong.
Yep.
And they suck blood with their fingers, not their fangs.
That seems like an improvement.
I
How do
don't
you
know
do it with
why
your
they
fingers?
have
That
fangs.
seems way easier, yeah.
You just go like
Wow.
right inside the neck, and somehow you're sucking blood.
Wow. That's an upgrade for sure, right?
That-
On normal vampires?
I feel like that's a lot easier to do, and you got more range.
Yeah, way more range.
Way more range.
Way less suspicious, just sticking a hand out, too. Not bad.
So that's
That
what
could
it-
look
that's
like
what
a
it can do.
gun.
But then the Morning
I thought
Sun
that was after you're
vanquishes.
biting the neck, though.
The Morning Sun vanquishes random drunken vampire. So Dio's like, interesting. He keeps that in mind. And then he's, going back to the mansion. That's when the whole, oh, I'm busted. And then he goes to stab Jonathan with the mask over. And then George Joestar jumps in front of the knife and gets killed by Dio. And he's like, oh no. And then Jonathan's holding him in his arms. They're having the whole like, oh.
Wait, who died?
George Joestar, JoJo's dad.
But he was already being poisoned.
Yeah, but he survived because they stopped.
Wow. What a
Okay.
beast, though. He's just
So
taking
Dio
poison.
kills his adopted father.
Yes, he stabs him.
Okay. All
And
right.
then,
Rest in peace.
They're
Let's
having
move
they're
on.
having their little quick memorial thing, and then in the
on the
meantime,
battleground.
yes. In the meantime, Dio
Dio-
takes the
Dio's
mask, puts the mask on his face, takes the blood off of the knife, rubs it on there, and then boom, Dio vampire.
Yep.
Dio Brando vampire.
He's back.
He's
here.
back. He's ready, and
He's blood.
he rips off the guy's. He takes a guy, like one of the cops, drains all the blood out of him, throws the cop's lifeless body so hard into 2 other cops that it slices them open. Not sure the physics on that,
So,
but it was
Yeah,
badass.
vampire's very strong, then.
Very, very strong.
Big vampire. Big vampire?
Well, I mean,
Big
he's
vampire?
a fucking mountain beefcake of a man,
Yeah.
Big vampire.
and he's a big fucking vampire.
Have you seen a
He's a
bigger
big
vampire?
vampire.
BFE, baby.
I've never seen a bigger vampire. Dracula wasn't this big.
You don't know.
You want to
Have
keep
you
bringing
seen a
up
bigger
Dracula?
vampire?
You keep talking about Dracula. Dio Brando could kick Dracula's ass.
I believe that. Dracula's kind of wimpy.
Yeah, I mean vampires, but vampires in general, like you're acting like a vampires. Like I don't know, man. Do these
This one seems
vampires not
upgraded.
like garlic?
No, they don't seem to have an issue with it.
Yeah, Dio seems like an
What
upgraded
about
vampire.
the sun?
Or would stay. The sun still destroys them. The
That
sun
seems like
is
an
the
obstacle.
only thing that can destroy them.
Including
Got it.
Dio.
Yes.
So
Seems
if
like a
Dio's
pretty-
in the sun, does that kill Dio or revert him back to human?
Turns him to ash.
That seems
So
like a pretty
dead?
big
Yeah,
flaw
dead,
to
dead.
take advantage of.
Yes.
So just
But it was his only option at this point to escape police custody in
Right.
1889
Right.
was vampires.
Yeah.
So, big fight, big climactic, wonderful
Big
battle.
vampire.
Fun battle. Fun end of episode 3, fun battle.
Oh, 3? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, end of episode 3 even.
Wow.
See?
Wow, what the-
See, I picked up the pace.
Wow.
This is, if I keep this up, that was a gold split. We're getting on
That's a
world
gold
record
for
pace.
sure.
we skip over episode 4 and start explaining episode 5.
So when they start the battle with Bruford and Tarukas,
Alright. Rewind a little bit.
okay, yeah.
Who are these guys?
So dope battle in the mansion, but during the fight to try and because JoJo doesn't know what the to do against a vampire. He's never seen a vampire. He doesn't think they're real.
That seems like a pretty hard one to win.
So
Yeah.
he's big fight.
Why doesn't he just
big
call
fight.
the police?
They're already there.
They're there and dead. They're all dead. All the police are dead.
Any more police available? Or?
The only survivors.
God, any more of those guys?
They all died. Oh, well, how do you call the police back in 1800s, whatever.
You gotta go to the police station and be like, yo, I'm gonna need police at my house for like 6 hours
Yeah.
today, just in case Dio
Yeah,
comes
in
home.
like a week, I'm probably expecting some bad stuff to happen. So if you want to come by,
Yeah, if you wanna
pretty
make
sick.
sure you're over there. It's like, yeah,
hey,
sure.
fire department, my house probably burned down in a week.
Yeah, hey, fire department, I'm planning on my house burning down on Thursday.
You'd be here like 5:30.
It's like, actually, we got somebody else burning their house down on Thursday. Can you do Friday? What about
Squeeze in for
Wednesday?
Friday.
It's like, we might be able to pencil you in for Wednesday, but somebody else would have to cancel.
All right, keep me in the loop.
Yeah, it's like, all
Yeah,
right.
what about
I'll
Brutus
keep
and
posted.
whatever?
So, yeah, mansion crumbles, burns to the ground. Jonathan thinks, oh, yay, I beat Dio. And then episode 3 ends with the caricature of a Chinese person.
To be continued, or is this a standalone episode?
This is very much a to be continued. We've already
Are there any
skipped two to be
standalone episodes of
continued.
JoJo that you could just sit down, watch, and you're like, that's a self-contained story?
Absolutely. That's the spaghetti episode.
The spaghetti one?
That's in part 4.
Yeah, why don't you fast forward to that one? What about?
Alright, so Josuke and Okuyasu are
Yeah.
like walking through a graveyard because, that's,
And then
I guess...
one of them goes, spaghetti!
No, they're like...
And
And
I
then
thought
they see...
you said it was a standalone one. This is a
And then-
two-parter?
And no, and then they see... They
Spaghetti.
They see a random Italian restaurant that they've never seen before. They're like,
In the
oh,
graveyard?
sick. Yeah. Oh, sick. New restaurant. Why is it in a graveyard? Who fucking cares? I'm hungry. So they go and they're like, all right, where's your menu? And he's like, oh, I don't have menus.
I got
And-
spaghetti.
And then, well, he's a good chef. He knows what you want. He knows what you need.
Oh,
He
so
makes
is
it for
there
you.
something about this
What if
that's
you don't want spaghetti?
we should be afraid of?
I don't want to spoil the spaghetti episode for you. That's a fun
All right,
one.
go back to episode 5 then.
All right, back to episode 5 of part 1 instead of episode 14 of part 4. So yeah, so mansion burned to the ground. Dio is just buried under the rubble because fire can't kill a vampire. Crushing it can't kill a vampire.
Arresting one, you can't do.
You can't arrest a vampire. He can just rip open the bars and escape.
Yeah.
Any vampire, like, could Dracula do that? He could turn into a bat. Does Dio turn into a bat?
No.
So why make him a vampire? Why not make him just a serial killer?
Because then the Hamon's sunlight magic would not be as effective against him.
Sunlight. Yep. The knots connecting there.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
So
this is
JoJo.
bulletproof.
Sunlight to
This
be
is
the vampire.
bulletproof. Yeah.
Jojo and Arena are walking through a field when suddenly a
Dio
random
bulletproof?
Italian. Bullets are powerless. That actually, yeah. Yeah, he's bulletproof. He gets shot a bunch by the cops.
Yeah.
You think the cops' first reaction wasn't to shoot the vampire?
That's
That's all they were trained to
They
do.
like the Taino or
If
something.
there's a vampire, shoot it. Like that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best course of
Well,
action.
but
it
if you
does
shoot
nothing.
Dracula, what happens there? He needs a stake through the heart.
Yeah, Dracula could take bullets.
Okay.
Dio
King
takes
Kong.
bullets.
King Kong is not bulletproof.
This is true, but he's very big.
He's
pretty big, he's pretty large.
So who would win, King Kong or Dio, or Dracula?
Vampire Dio with
King Kong versus Dracula.
Versus Vampire Dio.
Who would win?
All three in a bloodbath.
Who would
Why-
win
why do
based
I-
on JoJo logic?
Based on JoJo logic,
The big
ult-
monkey or Dio?
Based on
Vampire
JoJo
Dio.
logic, the ultimate winner would be Father Enrico Pucci,
Brutus.
Bruford,
Okay.
and Tarukas.
I kind of
You
combined
got
the
parts
two.
of
I
both,
kind
yeah.
of combined the two there.
You got parts of
All right. Keep on going.
So yes, we are. So Hamon, it's a thing. Sunshine karate magic.
What is hormone?
Sunshine karate magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Using the ripple from the earth to
Punch a frog.
take the power of the sun and start punching.
That's where they punch the frog.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so he's like, whoa, random Italian man that I met in a river, teach me your ways. So he does.
Okay.
And then they begin their journey to hunt down Dio because they know for damn sure he ain't dead. There's no sunlight involved, Dio ain't dead.
So, okay. Yeah. Great.
Then the ghouls.
Ghosts.
We got to
or
the ghouls.
Ghosts or ghouls? Which
We
one?
got to the ghouls.
Okay. I mean, like you can consider like kind of creepy little people ghouls.
Sure.
That doesn't necessarily mean ghosts. So you mean ghosts? You mean the ghost ghouls?
They're more zombie ghouls.
Okay, that doesn't.
They're like zombie ghouls.
That doesn't
In
count.
fact,
That's not-
they're straight up called zombies. But I felt
That's
earlier
close enough.
you sounded excited about ghouls, so I'm gonna call them ghouls.
What's
Yeah.
the rules?
What about witches? Is there a witch in JoJo? A green witch?
We at a
Rides on
certain
a
point in
broomstick
life,
goes
Scott,
bang.
you have to understand that not, people don't
Rides
always
on a
get what
broomstick.
they want.
Rides on a broomstick. It
Goes
has-
bled. Has to
yeah.
say bled.
Yeah. This show isn't as good as you're making it seem. Yeah. Green witch. Green witch?
There's no Greenwich,
But there's
but there is
zombies.
Greenwich. That's a city.
Okay. Keep going.
It's not in JoJo,
pretty
but it's a
close.
city.
It's also
Alright,
not-
well,
So-
JoJo takes place in the world, right? So
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Greenwich does take place in
Yeah,
JoJo.
it does. Dio's been going town to town, just destroying people, making a zombie army, and like sucking blood and f***ing
So he's making a. Okay.
f***ing
But
everybody.
does he just
Making
didn't he just
chimeras
want to be a
for fun.
spoiled kid?
Yeah, but now he wants to take over the world, and he has completely the power to do it. He's the strongest thing on the planet.
So why
at this
doesn't he
point.
do it?
Or so he thinks. Part 2
But he can only
finds out he
operate
was
for 12
wrong.
hours a
Find
day.
out he was wrong. Yes. So that's basically the rest of this. They're hunting him down, trying to find him along the way. They get into other battles, like with Bruford and Tarukas.
Describe
That
Bruford.
that
Describe
those
Bruford.
fights lasted 2 episodes. Nothing of note really happens.
They fight.
I skip those episodes when I rewatch
Why not?
because it's not
Is
that.
Thunder Cross split attack in there?
That's after Bruford and Tarukas.
Brutus doesn't say
You
Thundercross
fell
split
for it?
attack.
You didn't fall for it, fool?
Correct.
Okay.
But the only thing that matters from that whole ordeal is Tarukas, like in his final move, like thing before he dies, he manages to kill Caesar Zappelli, the random Italian man that we met in a river.
Okay.
The man who punched a frog.
Why?
He's dead now.
Why? Why did he die?
He died
Why?
during the fight with Tarukas.
Why? Turkish bad? Turkish bad guy? I thought he was a good guy.
No, Tarukas evil.
Turkish evil.
Tarukas is like
Is Brutus good?
resurrected zombie of like medieval soldiers.
Are Brutus and Turkish both
Yeah.
bad?
Yeah.
So there's fighting the old guy? Or was JoJo there?
Dio brings him back to life, and then they fight on Dio's side.
Okay.
But Jonathan kind of like talks Bruford into like, you know, coming to the light, and Bruford kind of sees like the
Does
the
Dio-
potential of this JoJo character, his upstanding gentlemanliness,
Yeah.
and
Does-
gives him his sword.
Okay.
Does
He
Dio
gives him a
have an
sword.
office?
So now JoJo has a sword. Dio does in fact have an office. He makes chimeras in there.
Okay.
You know what a chimera is?
It's like a Camaro, like the car.
That's like a calzone or something.
It's exactly a calzone. It's Sylvester
It's just
Calzone.
a bakery.
So Dio owns a bakery and he has a little office that he, you know, he
Sells pizza pies out of.
tells people to come in, you know, and you know, sit down, you know.
Try my caramba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's like,
Dio,
"Nice guy."
so Dio talks him into it
Yeah, Dio.
after like a nice like dinner or something.
No,
Fight.
he brings him back to life, and they're just automatically on his side
Okay.
because he's got like mind control power. Dio just
I
keeps
gotcha.
getting more powers.
Mm-hmm.
Freezing, laser eyes. Just
How
the
does he get
usual
these
vampires.
powers?
Vampires.
So he just
Okay.
takes him from other vampires, and
No.
the vampires are like, "Come here, Dio."
Is
No,
he going to like
he's just-
vampire school or something to learn him, or is it just
No,
going
he
over
just
time?
kind of figures out he can do it.
Okay. Okay.
Zappelli's dead now.
Yeah.
Random Italian man.
No
dead.
more Hammond.
Yes. Well, but Jonathan is now the Hamon Master.
Right.
Or so he thinks. Because then, immediately after Zappelli dies, we meet, like, random 3 other people. And it's like, oh, it's me, guy who's going to do Thundercross split attack. And then, oh, it's me, guy who becomes a traitor at the very beginning of the next part.
Thundercross split attack.
And then it's
the guy.
And then it's, hey, I'm here, I'm old, I'm in no condition to fight, let's go hunt down the strongest creature on the planet.
Nice.
Dio.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. Are dinosaurs in JoJo? If you have to think about it, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Scary monsters.
Scary.
Scary monsters. You know what's really f***ed about that? Dio again.
Dio brings the scary monsters.
Dio dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
Dio dinosaur.
Dio had a dinosaur.
Like an
What did
armadillo
he-
or just like one?
What did he do
Just like
with
a,
him?
Just like a
Dio
dinosaur.
dinosaur.
That looks like Dio.
What did he do with him?
It's like a Jurassic Park thing.
I need this to load. Hold on. I need to show you Dio Dino.
Isn't that the? Isn't that like Fred Flintstone's pet or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Dio.
Yeah.
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 Based on Dio Brando.
Based on Dio Brando.
It's not loading. You're just gonna have to trust me that Dio can turn into a dinosaur in part 7. But that's part 7.
Yeah.
And he dies in part 3. Anyway.
Yeah. Dio the dinosaur.
Yeah. So
Is he like the long neck one or
he's like a velociraptor,
a velociraptor?
but he's like baby blue.
What about a triceratops?
What about it?
What's the name of the dinosaur that's like they have the long neck, kind of like a giraffe, but
Oh.
no.
No, I know
Long
like
neck.
yeah,
No.
like the one that everybody always pictures or draws
Yeah.
when they say draw a dinosaur.
Yeah, that one. I mean, not a T-Rex.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of that one.
Just a friendly looking dinosaur.
Yeah.
It
I
looks
know
kind
the
of
one.
friendly. I think that one only eats leaves.
Yep, he's every like science textbook in school, like for herbivore, they just show a picture of that dinosaur.
Yeah, he's eating leaves. Friendly dinosaur. Look up Dio the friendly dinosaur.
Dio was not a friendly dinosaur.
What did he do as a dinosaur?
He ate rocks.
Those poor rocks. Was this town like severely like limited in their rock output?
No,
They
but
not
it was,
have
a
enough
it was
rocks?
one of those towns built into a mountain.
Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
Dio was not that.
No, he was a velociraptor.
And what did he do? He ate rocks?
Or
Yeah.
Brontosaurus.
How far into the series is this?
Brontosaurus.
This is part 7. The anime isn't even this far yet.
Okay. Dio comes back as a dinosaur. And
That is
all he does is eat
post.
rocks.
That is post New Universe. Technically different Dio, but he's still Dio. He's very much Dio. He's
Dio,
just
Dio,
fucking
Dio. Enough about Dio. Talk
And
about the
eventually you
rocks.
find out he's got the same stand.
You didn't talk about the stands
Yeah,
yet.
We're not
Go
that
back,
far yet. We're not
rewind,
that far.
We
rewind.
haven't got to
You
the
see,
initial
you see,
Rewind.
we haven't even gotten to the introduction of stands, and that's kind of badass. It's the only time Abdul does anything productive.
I got you. I'm thinking the same thing. You're saying, I'm thinking.
There we go.
Same page.
So,
Yeah.
bam, here we are. We made it to Dio's castle with now.
Dio has a castle.
Yeah,
Okay. I was wondering.
yeah, kind of.
That was gonna be the next thing I asked.
Yeah, did Dio have a castle? Yes, he did.
He did.
So now it's time.
Was it a nice
now
castle?
it's time. It was
Okay.
How many rooms did the castle have?
a lot.
Did the prettiest princess in the world live there?
Dio himself, yes.
Did you want to live there?
Only if Dio was gonna be there.
Is there like a theme park attraction at like Universal Studios Japan that's the JoJo Dio Castle?
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
There needs to be. There needs to be.
It's
It's literally just Disneyland in like Orlando, Florida, but it's like it's all JoJo and it's just
Aren't
Dio's
there?
castle.
There's like stuff in Japan that's like I'm pretty sure there's like an Attack on Titan attraction somewhere or something.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I mean, like don't quote me on this. I think so.
Part 2 of the final season, I believe, is out now. I need to fucking see it. That I need to.
We're doing this. You haven't even seen all of the episodes yet.
Attack on Titan.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Different anime. Different anime. that I'm
Explain
also-
Attack on Titan.
Switch.
All right, so Attack on Titan. When season 1 came out, I
don't want to hear about your story. I want to
There
hear
were-
about Attack on Titan.
All right, so there's humankind has been all but eradicated by these monsters known as the Titans. They're basically they look like us, but they're huge.
Does this take place
and
in
they're
Tennessee by
mindless,
chance?
and they eat. That was a sports reference.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry,
I
to
got
watch
you.
this. You probably
Sorry, anybody who sees this.
not really part of the theme here, but
Oh
slightly
Jesus.
off topic.
So yeah, like big ass monsters that eat people, and they've gotten humanity down to just like what can live inside of like 3 walls. There's the outer wall, the middle wall, and the inner wall. The innermost wall has like the palace, and then coming out further you get to like farmland. And then suddenly one day a gigantic titan appears, bigger than the wall.
Well, like the Pink Floyd
so-
album.
Like the Iron
So
Giant.
the regular titans, picture like a 2-story house. That's like the size they are. Like they're huge, but like, you know, the wall is like skyscraper height.
Sure.
The colossal titan appears, and he is bigger than the wall, and he's able to kick it down with his foot. Just
Whenever you say the wall, I just think of the album. And that's it.
yeah, Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd is around humanity.
Yeah. All right, go back to JoJo.
All right.
Are you?
Dio fight castle. We're at castle Dio fight.
Yeah.
Castle Dio fight.
All right, now back to Attack and
Tries to thunder. So guy goes up. He's like, I'm gonna get him, and then he's like coming at him, doing a slow walk, and then he goes for the jump kick, and then it's like, and he's like, "Ha, you fool!" And he goes to split his legs open, and he's like, "You fell for it, didn't you, fool?" Thundercross split attack, just Hamon in an X shape. And he calls Thunder, and he just goes to hit Dio. Dio's like, "Nope," and he just freezes the guy, and then he like cuts his head off.
Oh, so we
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, that guy
It
dies.
didn't even work.
Yeah, he was introduced an episode ago, and he dies.
The Thunderclash, it didn't even work.
Yeah,
It just died.
yeah. You fell for it, didn't you, fool? Thundercross split attack,
So he fell for it.
dies.
So he actually fell for it. He was
Dies.
the fool who fell for
I
it.
think that's why it's a meme. Because it doesn't work.
So,
Okay.
so the person that fell for Thundercross split attack wasn't actually a fool.
Oh, they were. They were the fool.
Right, the
Yeah.
the fool in
They
question.
did
Maybe we
They did
were
it.
the fool.
I mean, probably, but they were also a fool.
I bet you're feeling the fool now. This is the
I
first
am.
you're hearing that the Thundercross split attack doesn't work.
Yeah.
I remember is
I
that
thought
like
it was
when
a
you
success.
so like it was like 3 years ago the you started telling us about your JoJo fandom, and that was around the time that we watched the live action Flintstone movies. There's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah.
So I
Thematically, canonically. That was from a fight against Steely Dan in part 3.
Yeah, so I think like randomly like on a drive home, like we just start talking. What if Fred Flintstone was in JoJo? You do a little punching, or something like that.
And somebody there was an edit. There's just an edit out there of
So
somebody.
we just looked up Fred Flintstone JoJo, and then there was like a video that was just like Fred Flintstone's face superimposed very poorly.
apparently on Star Platinum.
Yeah.
And he's like going for like the Steely Dan beatdown. He's like, "What you owe can't be paid with money." Up there, Fred Flintstone face. He's just
He doesn't go dabba dabba for too long. He goes yabba dabba 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 doo yabba dabba doo yabba dabba dabba. But I was very happy that there was at least one person out there that randomly thought the same as we did.
had the same
What
inclination.
if Fred
Dumbass
Flintstone was in
idea.
JoJo?
Yeah.
So Thundercross Split Attack guy dies. Other dude who becomes a traitor at the very beginning of part 2. He defeats the zombies because Dio had a bunch of zombies in the castle, and he's like, "Ha, you can't take all the zombies," and he's just like, "Whoop!" and kills all the zombies. But that was after the zombies introduced themselves all by name.
I'm hearing you.
How many zombies were there that needed to be named?
I believe 5,
Okay.
and he gets them all in a single attack.
Wow.
So that was kind of funny.
Pretty cool moment.
Yeah, he looks like a badass, right?
Yeah.
I really hope Straitso stays on our side.
Me too.
I do
Me
too. So
yeah.
what happens next?
So then it's down to just Jonathan and Dio. Jonathan feels bad now because now all the Dio's my brother memories are flooding back to him. Now.
Yeah, bad timing.
Yeah, which isn't great. So, he's going for the fight. They're fighting. And then Jonathan gets a good clean hit on Dio, cuts his head off, and the head goes rolling down. And it's like, wah! Mm-hmm. But he cut his head off. Or no, wait. I was wrong. So Jonathan
Did I
goes.
mention there were ghouls?
He gets the
They
ghouls are
weren't
taken
ghouls.
care of. The ghouls are taken care of.
They weren't ghouls. He's just trying to play to the
Sunshine
audience.
Yellow, overdrive, punch into Dio. Which, oh no, that's Hamon, sunlight magic.
Yep.
Boom!
Right
Hits
in
the
the chest.
vampire.
Bad
That's
news.
bad news for the vampire.
Bad news.
Dio cuts his own head off.
Okay, so that's
And,
a bit different.
and
yeah.
his head rolls down the mountainside. This castle was on a mountainside. Was I not clear about that?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Why did Dio do that?
To save himself.
Right.
Because he's a
was dying.
vampire,
Yeah, so
and the
his
sun
head-
is the only thing that can kill him. So if he
The head.
slices his head
Okay.
before the sunlight yellow overdrive takes over his body,
Yeah,
he's
sunset
just like,
overdrive.
"Clump," and then just falls off. But they think they've won because they just saw the clean hit
Right.
and everything.
All that.
And then the Chinese guy once again makes his way down the mountain, collects Dio's head, puts it in a fucking jar, puts it in a jar like a helpful man.
Yep.
And then but JoJo thinks he's won.
Victory. Yeah.
He's like, hey, now I can marry Arena. I can marry the Arena Pendleton.
Nice.
So yes, now it was our wedding day.
Arena?
Yep, Arena and Jonathan get married.
Woo.
It's a happy, joyous day. Everybody's all excited.
And then
Speedwagon
Dio's
was
hand
late.
comes out of the ground like
No.
a zombie.
No, that doesn't happen.
Scully.
That doesn't happen.
What
Are
a
you fucking
yes.
dumb? Are you fucking dumb?
It's like you haven't listening at
That's
the same
not.
time.
That's not what happens. That's not what happens. Here's what does happen. Wedding happens, and we don't even see
Arena's
the
a
wedding.
frog.
We just hear about.
Better.
We just hear about it in the newspaper. So
Oh,
then
okay.
we get on the boat. We get on the boat to go to the honeymoon. They're going to the Americas.
Is there a license sign that plays over the boat scene?
Probably.
Okay.
Is it Rascal Flats?
Do you like the boat scene?
So
You
they're
wanna be
getting
on
up.
the
They
boat?
get on the boat.
What color
Everything's
is
all hunky
Would you
dory,
have married
and
Arena if you were JoJo?
nobody suspects a thing could go wrong on this honeymoon boat. But then Jonathan looks up and he sees, wait a minute, that's the Chinese guy that was Dio's lackey. It's like, what's he doing here? That can't be good. And then he goes to inspect it, and then when he's walking away, one of the guys gets up and he goes, "Bleh," and he's a ghoul. The ghouls came back
Ghouls are back.
because Dio's here.
Ghouls are back in town.
Dio's head is on the boat.
ruins.
Dio's
Dio
on the boat.
ruins the wedding on the
He
boat.
goes to try and sink the boat to kill them both, and then
That seems like a bad plan.
he gets a good hit on Jonathan, but Jonathan stops Dio, and then the boat's sinking, but he manages to the coffin that Dio was brought in. He was just a head brought in a whole ass coffin. Not sure why. He could have just been in a
Yeah.
suitcase, but
Yeah, why? What?
so the coffin that Dio was in, Arena gets into, and then she's like, "Oh yay! Now I can escape and live." But she without Jonathan now because Jonathan he took a Dio laser eye through the throat. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good for our boy
Sounds
Jonathan.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
So he's clutching Dio's head in his arms,
Caressing,
and
if you will.
says he forgives him.
Just brush his cheek a
Says he
bit.
forgives him.
Dio
And
is
then
forgiven?
Dio's like, wait, what do you mean? Because Dio wanted to take Jonathan's body and make it his own. So that way Dio could keep going, but
Okay.
he killed him.
And
He
then-
killed Jonathan Joestar. The main character, the one that we've spent all 9 episodes so far. That's how far we are. 9 episodes.
And this is the end.
This is the end of part 1. Jonathan is dead. Arena escapes in Dio's coffin.
Huh.
Into
There's
the ocean.
wheels on it.
They're in the ocean.
I feel like I learned nothing.
Is this where it gets good?
Admittedly,
It's
at
always
the-
been good.
I really liked part 1 watching it. Even the Bruford and Tarukas. First time watching that was great. But
Brutus is pretty good.
I
Brutus
didn't
from Popeye or
I
something,
didn't
or
want-
Goofy, the
Buckeye.
Goofy movie or
Brutus
something.
the Buckeye.
I didn't want to keep watching because I was like, oh, what the hell? The main character died. I like Jonathan. I thought he was good. He's just, he's completely over the top nice.
That means you don't
cartoony
like
nice.
Dio.
Well, I mean, he's the villain. I thought he was a pretty
He's
chill
bad.
villain, over the top, cartoony bad.
Would
Everything's
you-
everything's
if you had
so-
one question for Dio, what would it be? What was it like working with John?
Did you really make that good of food in your bakery?
Where'd the castle come from?
So he bought the castle, or
I'd
did
imagine
did he
so.
build it?
Or he just took it over. He's
Fair,
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
fair.
Power-
power
Yeah,
hungry
ghouls.
vampire.
Yeah,
Big
ghouls.
So if you could rate part 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, what would that be?
I when I watched part 1, I thought that was the end of the series because I'm like, what could they possibly do from
Bullshit.
here?
You were watching on Netflix or something, and you saw like a billion other episodes.
That's why I was confused. At that point, they only had 25 episodes. I heard so much about like, oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm like, oh, it's only 25 episodes. F it, I'll watch that. I got to episode 9. I'm like, they just fucking killed him. They fucking killed JoJo. Like, what the hell? I was confused. I was like, I don't even like. What would they do from here? Like, I have no idea where the story could possibly go. So I took a break. So
you were
before
so
I started
furious.
watching what
you
I
were
later
upset.
learned. Yeah.
You were not happy.
I was not a happy
So
camper.
part
You would
one,
not consider yourself a
part
JoJo
one
fan after that.
irritated you.
I liked what I saw.
It annoyed you.
No,
you were not happy.
You are putting words right in my mouth. You're taking the words, you're putting them into a ball, and you're shoving that ball in my throat.
I'm chucking it from
You're
here.
making me
I'm chucking
gag
it.
on my words.
Gag away. Let's
So
let's hear it.
I liked
Spit
part
'em
1.
up.
I very much liked part 1. I was upset with the ending, but you know, like in like a way that felt complete. It felt like a self-contained story. I had no actual questions about the plot or anything. I'm like, okay,
Really?
cool. Like, you know, this here it came, here it went.
Here's my thing. Okay, I watched the first episode with you.
Yes.
We all did.
Yeah, we spent 24 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it like myself, and I feel like the first episode was like, I was like, oh, this is interesting, and then they bring in vampires, and honestly speaking, that's where it completely lost. I completely was lost.
Like the first turn, then, really, huh?
Well,
like the
like
first
No, I'd say the
turn,
first
yeah.
turn was now they're beefcakes.
Okay.
That I
well,
thought
I mean,
was
like the
hilarious.
idea of
Yeah.
like, okay, so it's just like, you know, like the rivalry between them for the first episode or two
Right.
is like it's very interesting, and then they just make him turn him into a vampire. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's where it lost me. Not that I don't understand vampires.
Do you
get
understand
vampires.
JoJo vampires?
No, but I understand the concept of vampires. I felt like it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was a little lost because I felt like the initial premise was interesting, and
yeah.
they kind of completely drop it.
Yeah, the initial like episode 1 makes it really come across like it's going to be a completely different show. And then even episode 2, like it, you know, it's coming. It takes a bit of a turn. Like episode 1 ends with them saying, then 6 years pass or 7 years pass, however fucking long it is. I didn't do my homework before this. So like it comes across, and I'm like, oh shit! So they're skipping like everything. I was picturing like a Naruto situation where like you spend for fucking ever with them as kids,
Right.
and then you spend for fucking ever with them as teenagers. Like I figured there would be a time skip or something, but it wouldn't be until like later.
Yeah, a couple seasons in.
No, it was episode 2. There was a time skip, so that threw me off guard. But then, you know, it still felt like the same show. And then, to be honest, when the vampires started happening, I was like, this is where they were going with it.
I've been
You're
watching.
very different people, though. Sounds like.
I've been watching.
See, vampires scared you away. I'm not afraid of vampires.
I've been watching Is It Cake on Netflix, and they build cakes that look like bowling pins or something.
What about vampires?
Do they have ghouls in that show too? Or?
There was a chess set.
Why would that be anything like a ghoul?
This motherfucker equated ghouls to zombies.
You wanted ghouls.
The definition of ghoul is very vague.
It is.
How's that vague?
Eating
It's not
flesh.
chest vague.
Yes.
No.
It's like it's eating. Ghouls are basically just they eat flesh.
It's like a
What do
rectangle
zombies
is a
do?
square, but a trapezoid isn't a square or something.
All zombies are ghouls, but not all ghouls are zombies.
Exactly.